Building a wildly successful restaurant is not luck. It's a system. I'm Mike Bausch. I own Andolini's Worldwide, which is 12 successful restaurants, all profitable, all located here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm also a #1 best-selling Amazon author and creator of the Unsliced Restaurant System, a system that's helped hundreds of independent restaurant owners get out of their own way to real, actual profit. And if you are ready to not just survive in this restaurant world, but actually thrive in it, well, then this channel is going to be something that you're going to want to watch, because in it, I'm going to give you actionable things that you can do for your restaurant on the daily, because this system is built to create profit. Why does profit matter so much? Well, because in year 1, 30% of restaurants are going to close. By year 5, only 1 out of 5 restaurants will still be around. Those are brutal statistics that I want to invert. And the way we do that is by making actionable, smart moves like the big boys, while still having the heart and gumption of the independents. But why do so many restaurants fail? Because they're doing everything themselves. They're not delegating properly. They don't have proper SOPs or KPIs. And they're not checking their numbers. They're just relying on someone else to tell them their financials. These are stupid things that restaurants do because they're so overwhelmed. And it should not be that way. To be clear, independent owners should have every tactical advantage over the big boys. You're local, you're beloved, people want you to win, so why not let yourself win and just mimic the systems of the big boys, but keep the heart of an independent? On this channel, we are going to go over the things that most restaurants ignore, which is how to build a profitable restaurant from the inside out. This isn't just spreadsheets. This is a holistic view of everything. Beyond just breaking down food cost and labor cost controls, we're going to get into really what makes an owner, someone who's deciding the day, someone who's set up a vision, someone who's really leaning into people in a manner that not only brings more revenue, but also makes you that much more stoked to do what you do, which is running an independent restaurant. So every week you are going to get a video with actionable strategies on things you could do today to affect change in your restaurant. And if that's for you, well then subscribe and turn on notifications so I can always tell you when the next video drops. I started a small independent pizzeria in Tulsa, Oklahoma 20 years ago. 1,500 square feet, nothing special. I grew up on the East Coast and the West Coast to then take what I've learned across America and bring it to this one small store and grow it exponentially year over year. Bear in mind, I had zero blueprint, zero path of how I was gonna do this. I just did it. And how we got to that point was through systemizing at every opportunity, taking what was a win and leaning into it and learning from mistakes to iterate them out. And it was rough. And I don't want that for you, because I had to learn everything the hard way. No YouTube, no guidance, just doing over and over and over again, failing so many times that I had to get it right eventually, because necessity was the mother of invention. But in that process, I was killing myself, just driving myself into the ground. And then when I finally had a family, I said, this is too much. There's got to be a way to systemize this to get out of my own way so that this runs itself and I can check in on it and make it that much stronger instead of doing every single thing myself. Once I had done that and I was like, look at all this, I wrote a book on it just to give it to the world, and it went to #1 on Amazon. I'm super stoked about that, but the second that book dropped, everyone was hitting me up. Hey, can you come help out my restaurant? Can you do some consulting for me? Can you fly here? I didn't do all this so that I could fly across America. I wanted to give it and then be that much better at my own stores. So that's when I created the Unsliced Restaurant System. And here's the beautiful thing about it. Because I have pizzerias, fine dining, food hall, food truck, location at the airport, I've done it all. This system has worked for everything I do. And then here's the kicker, it worked for everything that all these other independent restaurants were doing. Not just the pizza places, but all of them, because human connection is not unique to any one style of restaurant. Knowing your financials is something all restaurants need to do. And leaning into people is not just a good added value thing to maybe do, it's a necessity to own and live your restaurant brand. What is Unsliced? It is a holistic system to get you where you want to be with more profit, staff on the same team, owners in line, along with all of your metrics tight, marketing that's not stupidly being spent, with a way that you are negotiating with vendors and up-leveling your catering and managing it all by the system and not the individual problem. So you stop putting out fires and you start living a proper restaurant life. You're gonna go through the 6 unsliced steps, each one focused on a different area of your restaurant. Step 1, the ownership alignment. We're gonna make sure all of the owners, even if it's just you, knows what you stand for and what your vision of what this thing should be, so you know where you're going. Step 2, the no math money map. You don't like math? Cool. I'm gonna walk you through how you're gonna know all your financials in a very, very easy format, pulling the data in so you know from a cash perspective what's hitting your bank, what's leaving, and where you sit financially. Step 3, the rapid recognition 10-second formula for marketing. I'm gonna make your brand obvious. Because once you're obvious, people get it. And then they're like, oh yeah, okay, I get that. And now I can give you money. Until we get to that point, it's very hard to give a restaurant money. Step 4, the loyalty and leadership code. How you're gonna get your employees to ideologically buy in on what you're about, because that's gonna work way better than incentive and punishment, which I'm sure you're running ragged trying to figure out. And step 5, the partner pariah protocol. Everyone that you pay that's not on payroll, all your vendors, all your government municipalities, where are they at with you? Are they your friends? Are they working towards your goals, or are they an enemy? How are we gonna turn this pariah into a partner on your terms so that you can get to your goals that much faster and with more money in your pocket? And last, step 6, the mogul method. How you will own this thing and stop worrying about what you can do and only focus on what you should do to provide value to your staff, your employees, and your brand. This will get you out of your own way to manage your time effectively. And you can complete all of this in a matter of weeks. Whether it's 2 or 3 months, you will then be well on your way to having all this dialed on your terms with your team in line with you. You just got to hit play and do the work. And if you've gotten to this part where you're this far along in your restaurant game, then you have the grit to make this happen. Unsliced is group coaching, a private community, and all the workflows that we use to build this. No venture capital, no random investors, no BS. This is real, and you can have it for yourself. Now, what makes Unsliced different than something else? Well, the reality is that I've lived every aspect of restauranting, from being in the kitchen to being up front, dishes, host, owning, marketing, life coach, repair and maintenance. Everything that goes into being a restaurant owner, I have done on a small scale and a large scale. I've seen it with hundreds of other restaurants. When you do it in this fashion, in this order, it is undoubtedly going to move the needle and prove ROI. It just has to, because I've tested on all my own restaurants and now hundreds of other restaurants. But again, do not believe me. Check out what other real-ass independent owners say about Unsliced, the people that are in the Unsliced community. Listen to them before you listen to me. And you can see that in the video linked in the description. But let me be super clear. This is information, and that's great. But if you want transformation, that only happens inside the Unsliced Restaurant System, a place for independent owners to up-level. Now, if you're ready for the transformation, that's when booking a call to have a restaurant review where we deep dive on your brand, that's when that comes in. Because every restaurant is its own unique universe, but the flow and science of how to pull it off correctly is not unique. That's why we do the free restaurant review, so that we can see exactly what's going right and wrong inside your restaurant to see if Unsliced is what can get you out of your funk. Or potentially you're in a good spot and you just want to go further. Whatever it is, that's what we do. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.